Okay, so I think we are live, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to the part 4 of the Masterclass series presented by Osome. My name is Christos Fellis. I am a YouTuber. I am an e-commerce seller, and I do some various other things as well on my channel. But today is not all about me. We have 4 experts from the industry today that is going to be doing a fantastic chat for us, all about how to scale your Amazon, eBay, and Shopify stores. So without further ado, we are not going to waste any time. Let's get straight into it with a few introductions if you do not know who these guys are. And I guess we will start off with John. Do you want to give us a little bit of an introduction?
Yeah, what's up, Christos? You said how to scale eBay, Shopify, but don't forget Amazon. So
Amazon, of course, yeah.
Yeah, which is going to be the focus on my side today. Specifically talking a little bit about setting some of your baselines correct and how to do it in the correct way going into 2022. So I'll dive a little bit into that. But from my side, I'm a co-founder, CEO of ZonGuru. It's a business intelligence toolset for private label Amazon sellers. So hopefully everyone here connects with that. And certainly most Amazon private label sellers have a Shopify store and are looking for additional ways to scale. So definitely part of the conversation today. We have 17 different tools. We're connected in 10 different Amazon marketplaces and everything from product research to listing and launch to profitability management, inventory management, etc. You get it inside of ZonGuru. And we have a lot of sellers based obviously in .com here in the US, but particularly Europe is pretty big for us, and Australia as well. So excited to get into the show today.
Fantastic stuff. We'll move over to the right-hand side on my screen, and that is James. Do you want to give us an introduction?
Hi, guys. My name is James. I'm an enterprise sales manager at Huboo Fulfillment. So I've been working closely with e-commerce sellers for the last 3 years. We basically help facilitate the growth of e-commerce brands in regard to the storage, picking, packing, and shipping to both the UK and international customers. I personally have helped set up hundreds of customers with their fulfillment in a range of different sectors. I specialize in the fitness and health supplements industry. But as like all the channels you're mentioning, we have full integrations with many more. So yeah.
Fantastic stuff. I'll have to check you out in the new year when I start my weight loss plan, right?
Yeah, hit me up.
Fantastic.
Wait for the new year. Wait for the new year, bro. Not now.
Always.
Now's the time to eat.
Always. Let's move down to Melissa, if you wouldn't mind, give us an introduction.
Absolutely. My name is Melissa Simonson. I am the head of marketing for Eva.guru. Eva is a SaaS platform. It's a software platform that helps sellers to use a repricing tool automatically. It has the ability to help you navigate your inventory management, which is a really big issue right now with people. Also keeps an eye on your advertising spend and many, many more things. So it's a way that sellers can combine their data and actually have a legitimate look at their profit analytics.
Fantastic. And then last but not least, we have got Taimur.
Thank you, Christos. Hi, everyone. My name is Taimur. I'm one of the senior e-commerce accountant at a company called Osome. Osome is an online platform to automate your bookkeeping and finances and make sure that you're as hands-off as you can be and get the AI in the system to do the work for you and reconcile all of your transactions and generate reports that you can work on and make good business decisions. So it's an automated platform that helps you manage your finances and books.
Brilliant. Well, thanks everyone for giving us an introduction. Just to anybody in the stream, all of the links to all of these fantastic people and their businesses are going to be in the discussion box somewhere on your screen right now. I believe the wonderful Sophie has just popped them in, so feel free to go and check them out, maybe after the discussion, but they'll be there for your records. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get into today's speaker, which is actually going to be John from ZonGuru, who has a presentation for us, like he said, all about Amazon and all of that good stuff. So John, take it away.
All right, let me share my screen. Christos, if you can hold me accountable to time, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure.
Share screen.
You got it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. So, for everyone on the call, we're talking about scaling your business. But I think one of the fundamental things that I spot a lot with our customers, private label sellers, is sometimes they don't even get the basics right. And obviously the basics of Amazon is to ensure that you're fully optimized for traffic, right? So that's two parts. One is ensuring you can get maximum exposure to traffic on Amazon. And I'm talking specifically about Amazon. And then secondly, that you can ensure that you have high conversion rates. So those are really the two levers that you want to play with when you're optimizing your listings. The way that I'm going to frame this today for discussion into 2022 is this idea of context, right? So I'm calling it contextual Amazon SEO. And this is really important, I think, moving into it's this year specifically, but even 22 and beyond. So far in the past, especially with Amazon sellers, we focus on our listing. What is our listing doing? What is our product doing? What are our sales doing? And I think the more and more seasoned that these platforms become, it's incredibly important to understand that in context to what Amazon is doing, in context to what your competitors are doing. Where are the opportunities versus your competitors? Those are the things you need to look at, and that's how we've built ZonGuru from the start. Is ultimately getting better answers to business questions. It's not just about you, it's about your context, right, of everything around you. So everything we do has a contextual feel to it, so you can understand how to be best for yourself, but how to do it in comparison to Amazon, to competition, etc. So we'll cover some of those high level bullet points as we talk through how to set your best baseline going into 2022. All right, so the first piece, when I say context, what do I mean? I mean, what's happening to me, my listing, my product, what's happening to my competition, what's happening to Amazon, what is Amazon doing? Is that affecting me? And then obviously customers, what are customers doing? How is that affecting us overall? So I'm going to just talk about those high level. When you optimize your listing, from a customer perspective, this is a part that a lot of sellers leave on the table. They don't do enough research around who their true customer is in a number of ways. One is, if you're creating a brand, what is their emotional connection to your product? What are their needs and wants? And fundamentally, just doing some high level interviews with your core target audience and understanding who your core target audience is really important to understand the emotional connection of what you need to call out. One thing that I really love doing, and you will absolutely see an impact in your conversion rate and your sales literally immediately from day one, is to understand the buyer questions that your customers ask themselves when they're going through the decision-making process. And the best way to do that, if you just want to do it in a bootstrap way that's going to cost you nothing, is to find a few of your target audiences that could be friends, and give them access to Loom, Loom. It's an off the shelf. It's free at the level that you're doing. It's just a Chrome extension that basically records the screen and records the person who's obviously going through the screen process. So as they go through it, ask them, just give them a high level task to complete, like, hey, go and find a product in this category. It's not even your product. And ask them to buy that product on Amazon, and talk through the process of all the questions they ask themselves when they go through it. And fundamentally what you'll answer, and it's crazy. We just did this on like 2 weeks ago with a pull-up bar, the pull-up bar that you attach to the wall. It's a massively competitive category. And literally in the top 10 products, there were 2 or 3 fundamental questions that the listings were not answering that were key to a buyer's making decision. One of them was the width between the two attachment parts to the wall, between the 2 screws, that no one was giving that measurement, and it was fundamental in the buying decision. And as soon as we updated that listing with that gap, the conversion rate went up, the sales went up. It was amazing to see. So even in a highly competitive industry, if you do those kind of things right and you understand the buyer decisions and you highlight those things in your listing, your conversion rate is going to go massively up, and that's a critical thing. So these are the kind of things you need to ask your customers. One thing you can do is obviously look at reviews. We have a tool called the love-hate tool, which does a semantic word cloud around what people love and hate about a product across all the reviews. And you can use that not only in your benefit overlays on your images, in your copy, but also in your search ads, your branded search ads, and there's a lot of that helps with that emotional connection with your customer. And then finally, make sure that you, from a keyword perspective, you're actually putting in keywords that your customers are typing into Amazon right now. And that's not a reverse lookup, right? That could be, how other competitors are ranking for keywords, but what are people actually typing into Amazon right now? Brand analytics is a key part of that. Product opportunity finder is a key part of that, because it's giving data that is key to a target audience in a specific global Amazon marketplace and what they're putting into their listing. So these are kind of data points that we ingest into our tool, which a lot of other tools don't. So you're actually finding out, what are people looking for, and especially in international marketplaces, you see a lot of opportunity there that other competitors are not going after, because they don't know how to get at keywords that are fundamentally current as to what Amazon sellers are looking for right now. And if anybody has questions, you're welcome to shout, and anybody on the panel, if you have questions and you want to interrupt, that's totally cool too. All right, let's move to competition. So, from a competition perspective, you want to understand who has the best listing. Now, what does best mean? It's obviously rank, who has the best rank, but who also has the best clicks and conversions, right? So they might not have the highest sales or the highest rank, but right now they might be getting the most clicks and conversions. And that's really important for you to understand. And are they getting that because they have better images, better pricing, better reviews? What is actually driving the most clicks and conversions? You can get at that data from brand analytics. And we highlight that in some of our tools. Average conversion rate. This is obviously really important. What's the average conversion rate of my competitors versus me? If you can understand that, you've got a way big leg up on your competition. So that's a really important insight to get at. Don't forget about looking at storefronts and EBC, right? Amazon is focusing in 2022 on brand. And people are doing a lot of work on these storefronts, and Amazon is rewarding that. So look at storefronts of your competitors, not just listings, and understand what they're doing there. How they optimize, obviously, keyword placement, their quality score, keyword rank, where are their back-end keywords, and what are they doing with that? So we have a tool called Keyword Spotlight. I think it's the only one in the industry. We can actually show you your competitors' back-end keywords and what they're doing there. It's a good insight to check, and it's not visible to the public, obviously. And then, where this is a really important one, but where is the keyword opportunity? And I'll show you this in our tool in a second. But everyone's optimizing for the main keywords, hopefully for the main keywords for your category. But there's some of those mid-level, longer tail keywords that haven't been discovered by your competitors that might be a major opportunity for you to really rank on and focus a PPC campaign around. And if you can convert on those keywords, it really does drive your overall ranking up, and your competitors might be missing out. So this is a really important one, which is like, not only what are the main keywords to put in, but where are the opportunities that I can go after? And then obviously the final question is, can I optimize my listing based on the algorithm to be the best on page one? So, we have a tool that shows you that, which is kind of cool. All right, Amazon, right? So again, you've got to understand what Amazon's doing. What's the latest on their algorithm and how to best align with that. Quality score is an important one, which is people miss, which is they're doing all these PPC campaigns, but they're not putting those same keywords into their listing. So you've got to have a match between your PPC and your listing. I would say at a very minimum, you should index for over 1,500 keywords. If you don't know how many keywords you index for, you should check out ZonGuru and the index checker and make sure you index for above 1,500. That's like a baseline level, I would say. And then again, session and conversion rate percentage. What are you doing for your listing versus your competition? And if you can do a better conversion rate, the algorithm will index you above other competitors. Image tagging, making sure that you take your images and you tag them with specific keywords. I think it's becoming more and more important that we see in the space. So make sure that you do tag your images with the right kind of wording. And then from an Amazon perspective, it's not just about your listing; it's about traffic sources. So they have a focus on brand now. You have obviously Amazon posts. They're rewarding external traffic to your brand store. all of these things are really important. So from an algorithm perspective, yes, session and conversion rate are important, but use all of the tools that are available to you from Amazon. They're giving that to you for a reason. If you use their programs, the algorithm will start to favor you. So, even if you like, I don't want to use PPC, or I don't feel like I want to use Amazon posts. If you do, you are absolutely going to get more algorithm juice. So use everything they have. They're there for a reason. Obviously check your brand health, and then, stay in stock, right? It's the bane of our existence as sellers. You've got to try and figure out how to stay in stock, because Amazon's becoming, especially .com, it's becoming more and more seasoned. They're favoring bigger brands because they just can. It's easier for them. They make more money, and one of the things is they stay in stock. So you've got to try and stay in stock, and then make sure from an Amazon perspective you do partial flat file uploads. I would say probably once a month, maybe once every 2 months. Keywords drop off, Amazon's algorithm changes, then they're not very consistent on that aspect. And if you do partial flat file uploads, you're gonna basically add things that Amazon is maybe not recognizing or not indexing, and they've fallen off. It's not a full file flat upload where you completely overwrite everything. You just do partial flat file uploads, and you can actually do that through ZonGuru. Just in our listing optimizer, you can just push a button and it'll flat file upload for you. So these are really important things that you need to do to keep up the health and make sure your baseline is there with the algorithm. Talking about you, right? In the context of it, what are the things you have to do? Obviously, make sure you have the basics. It's so funny how people are either launching an extension of their brand or maybe launching for the first time. They've done all this work and they still don't get the basics right, and they're going in with like one image or, just basic images, but they haven't got EBC going. They don't have video. You have to have, if you're going out of the gate on Amazon, you have to be world-class in every single aspect. It's just what you have to do now. Don't just use a reverse lookup tool. You don't want to just index for all the words that your competitors are indexing for. You want to understand where are the actual keywords that you need to search for. So, get a tool for local marketplaces. We have that. It's so crazy when you look at, products that are listed on Amazon.com and say Germany, and the difference in their listing because they've just used, a translation tool, and they missed out on the actual keywords that people are searching for on that marketplace. This crazy opportunity in local markets. Listing order, title, bullet, description, back end, nothing's changed there. Just don't overstuff your listings, especially the title. I think there's a move towards being more phrase matched on your titles, much more professional in your approach. Sometimes people are saying, hey, you might want to, overstuff the title in the beginning when you launch a product, but then obviously rework that as you go down the road. But I would say you see so much opportunity if you just exact and phrase match in your title. You can get a lot of keywords matched on that, so you don't have to overstuff them. Obviously, make sure you index for you optimize for short tail, high traffic keywords that are more competitive. But then again, the long tail opportunity keywords, make sure you own that, and that's where your opportunity versus your competitors. You have an opportunity of your competitors there, and then match with PPC. So these are important things, and then get your listing translated. Don't skimp on these kind of things, right? People used to skimp on image photography. Hopefully not anymore. They understand the value of your photography, but they get to translations and they do as well. And it's, you'll be amazed at the difference between the tone of what works well with a USA based customer versus a German based customer. It's a completely different world. Germans like it straight and to the point. They don't like the overselling stuff. Americans love it. So, you've got to get these kind of things right when you do a listing. And then use your backend search terms for incorrect spellings, Spanish, etc. That's it at a high level, the theory that I wanted to go over with you. What I want to do now is just kind of jump in and just show you in 5 minutes, some of the ways that you would apply this in reality using some of, ZonGuru as a software, just for an example. So if you guys can see my screen, this basically, I just before this, I looked for a product. It's called a rustic corner shelf. I just found that through our niche finder tool. It's a product that it's actually for a .com product. It's from a niche score. This is our niche radar tool on a Chrome extension. I'm not going to go into the details of this, but it has decent demand. The competition opportunity is okay. You can get in. Investment sweet spot is okay, and the revenue potential is pretty decent. So finding opportunities on the .com becomes harder and harder. So you need data to be able to kind of answer the right questions. We do it at a high level, and we give you a bunch of data. But if this was my product, let's just say a rustic corner, corner shelf. What's interesting as the competitors here, you'll see I've got a number 3 highlighted here. There should be a number 2 and a number 1 down here as well. Those are the ones that are getting the most clicks and conversions, right? So I just at a high level took some of those and put them into our kind of theoretical optimization right now in terms of who the biggest competitors and who am I as a product. So I'm not going to use the detail of this page right now, but basically what I did is I pretended I was one of these, and then I grabbed all the keywords and the competitors, and I've done an analysis on that. So if I jump into our application, ZonGuru, one of our strongest tools should be here. Let's see. Is keywords on fire and listing optimizer. So I'm going to jump in and just show you that for a second. What I did is I just took the main buyer keyword, rustic corner shelf. I put that into keywords on fire, and what that does as a tool is it runs a reverse lookup on the top 25 organic listings in that marketplace, and then that dedupes it with APIs from Amazon that we have preferred partnerships with, brand analytics, etc. So you're getting the most current keywords and obviously the ones that are seasoned within listings, and you kind of get the overall view of like all of those competitors, how are they matching, and then how do we beat them, right? So there's a whole bunch of data in this tool, but at a high level you get the keywords. What I'm going to show you today is the keywords. You get this ZG score, which is relevancy and search volume, right? How relevant is that keyword for your product? Dollars from those keywords, the search volume, and how many of those competitors actually rank in the top out of those 25 competitors, how many of those actually rank for the keyword, right? So you'll start to see, and then over here, this is a little bit more advanced, but you can kind of get a view of like all of the big competitors and how they rank up to position 200. So when you start to really analyze this, you can really understand where's the opportunity of the keywords that I should go after and own versus my competitors. So at a high level, if I'm looking at this, should I optimize as some of my main keywords, corner shelving, which has like 7,000 in search volume and 8 of the top competitors are ranking the top 25 positions, or should I go for something that has like a corner shelf stand or something like that, which has much higher volume, 16,000, right, a higher dollar from keywords and only 6 competitors. So when you start to look down the list, you might find some keywords that you can really own that your competitors are not ranking for. And you can use multiple filters. So for example, if that was the exercise I was going through right now, I'll just go, hey, give me the ZG score. Let's just make it relevant. So greater than or equal to 70, right? It's anything above 60 is probably really relevant for your brand. And then maybe just go, hey, give me all of the competitors, that are less than or equal to position 8, so 8 of the top 25 competitors have good ranking for that. Now you can see I've only got 22 keywords, and if I look through this, maybe I'll start to spot some opportunities that my competitors are not optimized for. For example, bookshelf. I think I saw earlier. I was looking at it. Let's sort by search volume as well, right? So let's go high search volume. You can see here, like corner bookshelf has really high search volume, and a lot of the competitors aren't even including that, which is crazy in their listing, right? So maybe bookshelf also works as a shelf or a bookshelf. So you can add these kind of keywords. You can find a whole bunch of these, save that view, and then make sure when you optimize your listing, you add those keywords. And then you can obviously see how they rank over here. So there's a lot of like technical ways that you can save different views in here when you're optimizing your listing for those high volume, relevant, short-term keywords, but then also finding some opportunities where your competitors aren't optimized for, saving that view, and then uploading that to your listing to make sure that you can beat your competition, and then match that with a subsequent PPC campaign that targets those keywords. And you'll just start to see this kind of halo effect on your listing. You'll do really well. So this is quite technical in this approach. Obviously, I'm very high level here, but hopefully you've got a few kind of insights in terms of how we come up with the right keywords to put into your listing. And then the final step is doing something in our listing optimization tool. Here you can see it. This is, in theory, this is what I'm saying is our brand, which is Oloki, right? And here's some of the top competitors. You can put the top 8 competitors, but at a high level, you can see this guy's optimization score is 9,000, let's say us right now. And then this guy's 25,000, 24,000. So they're way more well optimized on page one for keywords in the listing in terms of title, bullets, etc., and the most relevant ones. So this Tribe Designs, you can see over here, he has the keywords, he has the search volume, the score that he gets, how many competitors have that same keyword, and where does it appear in the listing, whether it's in the listing or in the title, exact match, phrase match. And then all of these keywords here that are sorry about that, that are saying that are highlighted in green are actually not included in the listing. So it's a very easy way to see where you need to put that into your listing. So for example, if I wanted to move this Oleki guy up in position, I think I've got a problem right now. I don't know if it's it looks like it might be interfering with the screen sharing. Sorry about that. So for whatever reason, I can't click over. But the point is that in theory, if I clicked over to this Oleki corner shelf, essentially what I'll see is that 9,000 score, and I'll see a whole bunch of keywords on the right here. Yeah, just clicked over right now. I can see right now, hey, if I start to add the words like, I don't know what's going on with this slow, but if I add the word bookshelf here, or shelving, or stand, or any of these keywords on the left-hand side that you can see highlighted in green, all of a sudden that phrase match and exact match of the listing will start to really grow, and you'll very quickly see that you can get way up on the 25,000 there. So the idea here is like take all of the green keywords here, add them appropriately into your listing where they should appear, and then finally you can do an overall shift of keywords once you've gone through your title and bullets into your back-end search terms. You can add them there, which obviously we show you on the listing, and then you have a final uploaded listing. So you can see all of the listing over here, including the back-end search terms right here. So I could just grab these keywords, add them over, and your score will very quickly climb, and you'll beat these, and then you'll have the number one optimized keyword on your listing. So it looks like, for whatever reason, there's an interference with Zoom, so I can't click in here and share it. So sorry about that, guys. But hopefully you get the theory there, and that's how you optimize your listing, and that's kind of it. So hopefully that's helpful, just to show you a little bit of the tool. Obviously, the theory hopefully is important to you guys. There's a whole bunch of tools that you can test out, and finally, if you want to try ZonGuru, there is a 50% offer off through Osome right now, plus $500 in free value, really targeted around this whole idea of listing and seller optimization. It's zonguru.link/Osome-winter. You get 50% off. It'll cost you, I think, for the month, it's going to cost you about $24 just to get in and try ZonGuru, and try it on your markets. You'll see a massive opportunity there versus your competitors, looking at backing keywords and how to optimize it. It's a really good exercise to go through, and even just for the $24, it's worth trying. So jump in, and you'll get a whole bunch more with that when you get in and try it. That's it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. A little bit of a Christmas offer there as well to finish with. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Thanks for presenting that, John. Yeah, like I said, if anybody's watching, if you do have any questions, obviously always drop them in the chat box below, and we'll get to them in just a second. But what I actually have right now is a few discussion questions of my own to bring up with the guys, the panelists, to talk about just regarding some SEO and some other things as well. So if you guys are ready, we can of course jump straight into that one. And the first question, which I think is the main one, which we can all talk about, is that we can go through the room here, but out of all the different marketing functions that you use, how important are keywords and SEO to your respective business? Like, obviously, I know, John, you've just spoke quite a lot about SEO there. I know that, Melissa, you must use it within your business. And of course, James, you'll be using it in different aspects with your business as well. But I guess we'll just start with John, and then we'll just work our way around. So in terms of how important actually would you stress SEO and keywords actually are?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important. I mean, it's the baseline of your business, because people have to find you, right? So if you imagine all of these doors that can lead to your product, you need to basically have access to one of those doors, and you can only do that through keyword, right? So it's really important. And I would say above that is this idea of relevancy, because so many of those tools out there that we see, they don't fundamentally think about relevancy versus your product, because there's no point in having keywords in there that aren't relevant for your business, and that can in fact hurt you. So I would say keywords are important, but I would say the overlying aspect is to understand relevancy and opportunity. What is the opportunity for me to go after, which is kind of the things that I talked about in there. It's really important.
Cool. Let's go down to you, Melissa, to see if you have anything to say to add to that.
Yeah, I think it's actually a really good question, because a lot of people consider PPC, SEO, keywords, this is maybe a separate aspect of their business. But in fact, I think that it is part of every other marketing aspect. So if you consider your website, keywords and SEO are a huge part of that. If you're not doing that right, just like John said, you're not findable. And if nobody can find you, then you may not exist to them, right? So then that is not a customer for you. So in your blog posts, in your articles, in your press releases, in your website, if you're not using that as a tool in tandem with the other marketing efforts that you're putting out there, then you're not even halfway to winning. I feel like. I think that those other tools are meant to be used with SEO and PPC.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, James, with your business, in terms of listing optimization, it's not really your forefront, but obviously you own a business and you probably do obviously Google stuff and all of that. So you must have some kind of SEO that you use to obviously get people to find your business, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we have a whole marketing team who put a lot of research into SEOs and keywords like that. So as these guys said, if you don't have that right, then nobody's going to be able to find you. So Absolutely. That is a very important for every business.
No, brilliant. And obviously, Taimur, you're more involved with the numbers than the words. But if you had anything to add, obviously feel free to add. But was there anything you had to say, or are you just more focused on those numbers?
Yeah, I'm the numbers guy, but everyone has said the great stuff, and yeah, they know this area more better than me, so I'll leave it.
Brilliant. All right, so let's move on to the next one, and this is one that I really want to get some answers from a selfish point of view, and that is what advice do you have to give to someone that's just starting their business and wants to take advantage of that keyword optimization? Once again, let's actually start with you, Melissa, this time.
Sorry, I have to keep muting because I never know when my dog is going to see the mailman. I think one of the biggest things when you're first starting out, then cost is always a big thing for you. And then there's this other aspect, I think, with beginners that comes into play, which is you feel like you have to do everything right the first time. You have to have the right tools. You have to have the right everything. And you can't try something, make mistakes, and carry on from there. So given that, I want to encourage people, if they're just starting out, to take advantage of the learning opportunities out there with YouTube and with some of the companies like ZonGuru and some of these others that have tutorials about how to use keyword research tools and how to navigate that, so that when you are paying a monthly premium for the very best one, which you always think you need when you're first starting out, and then you can scale back from there to what you actually need, then I think you can actually be making the most of your money, because once you're paying for a monthly subscription, you really need to be using that to your benefit. So I would encourage people to first use free trials and research about keyword research, so that you know what you're doing when you are paying for that subscription. That's the advice I would give.
Good stuff. Over to you, John. What was the advice that you could give to someone starting their business to take advantage of keyword optimization? Just somebody getting started out.
Yeah, I think there's 2 points. One is, especially if we're specifically talking about Amazon, I think you need to have your ducks in a row, and you have to be ready for when you launch. This is not something that you're just going to kind of figure out once you've launched and you keep going, right? You've got to have everything aligned and ready as a launch project. So any of that kind of pre-work around listings, keywords, etc., you need to launch with an amazing baseline, and then obviously have an optimization plan beyond that, right? But don't go in without truly understanding how to approach it. I think that's number one. And number two, with everything, like everything, I think figuring out the hard things, or the things that the general competition doesn't focus on or do because it's too hard or it's too ethereal or whatever. Those are the things that you can truly get advantages on. So, in terms of your optimization around understanding your customer better, doing more product research, getting more insights around what truly drives them, that will give you some key areas to focus on in terms of not only keywords, but how you can convert them once they come on. So, do a lot more around product and customer research. That's a big step that a lot of people forget.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so that's really good. I really like that one.
Can I just underscore real quick one of the very last thing that John said? I would say not only do newbies, I guess, forget to do the research for their customers and stuff like that, but they also feel like that research or knowing what your customer is looking for, what they're searching for, is not worth the expense. And I got to tell you, it will bring you more customers. It will pay for itself if you pay for the initial surveys or whatever it is to get that information, because it's vital. So yeah, I appreciate your words on that, John.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so what I want to do now is actually do a round the room, and what I want to ask you guys is moving away from SEO now and moving more just kind of with e-commerce businesses in general. Now, you guys are all very, very experienced in kind of different areas with e-commerce. If we could try and keep it kind of related to your area of expertise, but what would you say is your biggest tip to somebody starting an e-commerce business or going forward with their current e-commerce business in 2022? Your biggest tip, and I guess we'll start this one off with John.
Biggest tip, wow. I think the biggest tip is, as competitive and as big as our e-commerce industry is, it's still relatively new in the global perspective, right? And there's much more opportunity now than there's ever been, right? So if you truly are looking to scale your e-commerce business or start one, do it, because it is a phenomenal time in our world to be able to take advantage of this amazing opportunity that can be life-changing. And do it in the focus of creating a brand, which is important. I think in terms of, in relation to Amazon, is look beyond Amazon USA, because a lot of the global markets, the emerging global markets, have huge opportunity that are actually easier to get into and have massive upside. Some of them in Europe, Australia for sure. India is also an amazing one. And those are all achievable no matter where you are based in the world, right? We have all of the services, softwares, technology to be able to launch a product in any global marketplace. So that is attainable for anyone here. So broaden your horizons a bit when you're starting your business. Step by step, you'll get there. Have a plan and execute on it. You'll get there.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Over to you, James.
Cool. Yeah. So obviously, one of the main things is to make sure that you're ready for this growth. So with companies like ZonGuru, who should increase your sales, you've got to have a reliable fulfillment solution. You don't want to be starting a business, starting off small, and then all of a sudden your orders go through the roof and you can't handle it. You need to have something in place that means you can store, pick, package, and dispatch on time. The amount of people that I've worked with who they usually started their small business and all of a sudden it's just grown and they can't handle it. And some points it's too late to hand it over because they're just busy fulfilling orders themselves. Equally, I've been working with very large businesses who haven't considered fulfillment. So they've been doing it all themselves in their warehouse. And next thing you know, they've got a 5-year lease on a warehouse and they can't really move out of it. Another thing I would say is don't limit yourself to domestic markets. Everyone's going international now. So if you want to stay ahead of the competition, you need to start infiltrating the international markets. And again, there's lots and lots of international fulfillment centers, including Huboo, who can help you with that. And equally, like all you guys are probably doing right now, is to diversify across a lot of different markets. So obviously, Amazon's one of the biggest sellers in the UK. but you want to have things like Shopify, eBay, and also international markets. There's also lots of large marketplaces that may not be so popular in the UK. For example, bol.com is one that we have, and that's in the Netherlands, which also have a fulfillment center for. So basically, yeah, just be prepared for that rapid growth, because if you're utilizing all these different marketing partners and companies like ZonGuru, it will grow very fast. So just be prepared for that.
Yeah, no, where the point you mentioned about the international side of things, I think, especially with the people that I speak to on UK Amazon sellers, the big kind of roadblock has been the whole Brexit thing, and expanding to those European markets. And I know that the next man talking definitely has some tips around that. So we'll move over to Taimur. What is your main tip for e-commerce sellers, probably from an accounting point of view, moving into 2022?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Chris. So, look, I would say focus on planning, and not just planning in terms of trying to understand which product to go for, find the right suppliers, or how to go about with structuring your business. Put that down in numbers and see the numbers and see how it actually looks. Because at the end game and the end goal is to take some money home, right? And how does it actually look after paying all of the taxes? Are you still profitable for yourself or not just the company itself? So when you're planning and you're putting into forecast and you're looking into cash flow statements, all of that will help you understand any activity that you're doing. How does it actually financially affect you and your numbers? And is any of that any beneficial to you at the end of it or not? So that's one. Secondly, as you mentioned, growing globally is probably a norm now, and you should be focusing on that and put some energy on it. When Brexit hit, everyone stopped that road because it was a lot more expensive and wasn't beneficial anymore. But since 1st of July 2021, with the new e-commerce rules specifically, things have been changed for better. And you can now go back to Europe and other markets. So see what your options are and see how people around you can help you. We have built ecosystems around this, to help you with a specific part of your business. Rather than you trying to do it all on your own, find the correct partner for you and let them handle this part while you focus on making the money part.
Good stuff. And then last but not least, over to you, Melissa.
I think for me personally and professionally, my area of strength has been systems and processes. I feel like, if you're going to scale, you really need to know every aspect of your business and have it written down so that you can assign that to somebody else and you can actually delegate that. I think I mentioned this actually in the last one, that a lot of times entrepreneurs like to put out fires, and we feel very accomplished when we are able to solve the most on fire problems. But if we actually empower staff and some employees or even VAs to handle some of these problems for us, or even use a tool, a software tool, right? If you're doing your own research manually, how much time could you be saving if you're using ZonGuru? If you're doing your own repricing, how much time could you be saving if you have Eva do dynamic repricing automatically for you? So there's a ton of ways that you can delegate, and not everyone is hiring a VA, right? So I think it's important to see what tasks require your mind, your brain, your creative ideas, and make sure that you have enough time to devote to that, which means you need to put in time that's just for planning, just for scaling, just for creative ideas that you can't hire out. You can hire out bookkeeping, repricing, inventory management, and 3PL services, right, James? And you can hire out a lot of those different tasks, but you can't hire out the planning of your business, your exit strategy, things like that really require you as the entrepreneur. So I would encourage people to write down things as they do them so that you can see how do I get out of doing this myself? How can I not do this very mundane, tedious task? Because as much as it sounds crazy to us as entrepreneurs, it is actually something people like. There are people in the world who have totally different strengths than us. And while some of these tasks may seem like, oh, I don't want to do this, so why is somebody else going to want to do it? That seems mean to do that. But there are definitely people in the world, people I know even, who like to have predictable, repeatable tasks that they can look forward to, and that it gives them something. That's what they need during the day. And so if we can give them that, and it takes that off of us, and we're all using our own strengths for our own jobs, that's much better. So I encourage people to use their time to come up with strategies that lend time to the SOPs that they should be writing as they go.
Amazing. Yeah, planning is such a big thing, and something I tell a lot of people that follow me, especially a lot of them being Amazon sellers, and with Q4 right now, which we're probably starting to see that obviously the back of, everyone is so focused on their sales, they forget to plan. And when January comes around, depending on what you sell, of course, they could just be sat with no sales or very low sales, whereas they could have been planning up front on what their strategy could be for 2022 and be well ahead of the curve. So that's some really good tips there. I want to go for the last discussion question that we have of today. And I actually want to go over to Taimur, because obviously you've been an e-commerce accountant for a few years now. And obviously everyone else, feel free to chip in if you have anything that you want to say. But what would you say is some of the major trends that you have seen, or maybe something that you have seen change or develop over the past couple of years when it comes to just e-commerce in general, and what should people be looking out for in the coming year in terms of what has changed over the past couple of years? Because obviously we had Brexit and all of that stuff over in Europe. There's obviously been changes over in America as well. I'm not too knowledgeable on that kind of side of things, but what are the major trends? And like I said, if anybody else has anything to say, please feel free to join in.
Yeah, sure. As you all know, we have gone through a roller coaster of events in the past 2 years, especially, Brexit, then COVID, and all of that meant new rules and regulations on different stages. And so when Brexit happened, obviously all of this new EU rule, import rules came in, which kind of messed up drop shipping models a lot on Amazon and the Shopify platforms. Then all the new EU reforms as well. So there was a lot of new changes, but what I've seen is clients who have overcome those changes and still try to continue their operations are doing a lot better than they were before. So one of the trends is that if you can overcome all of these hurdles, through help of a partner or consultants, and still continue with this global approach, then you can continue to grow. One of my clients, actually a few of my clients, receive these emails and actually calls from Amazon, saying them that you're a UK-based business and we know you're doing really great here. We would like you to be pushed on US market, and we will help you through this transition. So imagine Amazon themselves pushing people from UK to US markets and asking them, we will help you through the transition. So not only like yourself or the trends, even marketplaces themselves know that going global is probably, the more sales channels will be approachable. So as a conclusion, don't be afraid to reach out to other channels and try to be scared of those hurdles, and then find partners who can help you reach those and then make those extra sales.
Good stuff. Yeah, no, that's really informative. Thank you so much for that. So one thing that I'm going to ask, obviously, if there is anybody watching that does have a question, we are going to wrap up very, very shortly, but please do feel free to get any last minute questions in just before we do. But one thing that I definitely want to do before we wrap up is just do once more around the room, just to talk to the guys. I think we may have lost Melissa temporarily, but obviously, let's go through and let's just talk about, obviously we heard from John, and we will start with you, John. Any offers or anything that you want to mention, last words before we wrap things up today? And obviously if we do get any questions in the meantime, we'll stop and answer those as well. Starting with you, John.
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, depending on where you are at in your e-commerce journey, typically this time of the year right now, all your hard work has been done, all your preparation been done for this crazy sales period, and at the same time, hopefully, you have a little bit of respite to focus on the planning. I think you brought it up, Christos, and I think it's important to take a breather, but then figure out your plan going into the new year. And for sure, scalability on the marketplace you're on, or the global marketplace, all options there. And look, if you want to look at different marketplaces, one of the things you can do is validate your product idea on these marketplaces using ZonGuru. You can jump in, use our research tools, understand how to extend your brand. What are some ideas around that? So if you want to check out ZonGuru, we've posted that link at zonguru.link, Osome-winter. You can get 50% off. And again, you have a lot of educational material. We have a team of sellers, 7-figure sellers, who are there and willing to help you, guide you, and everything else in between. So check it out if you want to check us out. And again, we're integrated in 10 marketplaces. So the global idea is definitely prevalent in ZonGuru.
Good times. Over to you, James.
Yeah, so obviously this has been a very crazy time of year for all e-commerce sellers. So now's probably prime time. I get a lot of customers coming over because they've really pushed their fulfillment to the test. Either their existing fulfillment service hasn't worked so well, or they've been trying to do the fulfillment themselves. And it's a big time to make these kind of decisions. We offer a no obligation free setup, and we've got obviously global expansion has been a big topic throughout this conversation. And we have fulfillment centers across the UK and Europe. We can help you get set up, and we've got a vast partnership network. We can connect you to different people. Feel free to get in contact through our website, through the link, and we'll be happy to get you a customized quote and perhaps discuss it further.
Awesome. And obviously all of those links are in the chat if you guys want to go and check them out. And if you are watching the replay, because I'm sure this will be up on YouTube at some point, all of the links will be in the description as well. I'm very sure of that. And then just moving on to Taimur from Osome.
Sure. Look, anyone who is watching this or will watch this, you get £100 off your first bill, and also, references to all of the partners available here. But please feel free to give us a call if you want to have a free consultation, or just talk to someone about your accounting and finances needs. Happy to help anyone we can.
Fantastic. Well, I don't think Melissa is going to be coming back. So what I'm going to do is just wrap this up right now, guys. First of all, on behalf of Osome, obviously, I would like to thank all of the different speakers for coming on and sharing your time. Obviously, I know that during this period of time for e-commerce, you all must be very, very busy. So I'm sure we all appreciate you coming on and sharing your expertise. Once again, thanks, John, for your presentation today. And on behalf of myself and the team at Osome, I'd obviously like to wish you all a Merry Christmas, and thanks to everybody for tuning in, and anybody that watches this at a future date. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Good luck.
Thanks,
Cheers.
everyone.